So yeah, in India, those studios, they're huge, man. There's hundreds of people working at those studios. And what sucks, I know, I think Jeremy mentioned it, is credits, right? I kind of want to know the percent of how many people worked on the movie and how many people actually show up in the credits. I think it's got to be maybe just over half.
No, I think it's under that.
Oh, it hurts.
Well, I mean, just look at our individual results. Mike, how many films have you worked on? And then how many films did your name end up in the credits of?
I've worked on probably three, maybe close to 4 dozen films at this point, and I definitely have less than a dozen. I'd say maybe eight or six, something low.
Yeah, so you're looking at probably a 15 to 20% credit rating for you specifically.
Yeah.
For me, it's even lower. I've worked on, I think I tracked it, it's like 75 different projects, and my name ends up in the credit of about six. So I'm at under 10%. For people that haven't been in the industry as long, it's even less likely that their name ends up in the credits because most of my credits are because I was either a lead or a supervisor for those projects. If I was just an artist, it's much less likely I would be credited. Also, I'm not including the virtual reality projects because they add the credits regardless. It's a lot, or they just don't add any credits at the end of it regardless. So just considering film and television projects, but I would say my guess would be somewhere around 7% of the visual effects artists that work on a movie actually end up with their name in the credits, just based off of our individual allegorical data. And I'm sure it changes depending on whether or not you're working for a big studio because they get more leeway in having names in the credits. Smaller studios sometimes don't get any names in the credits. They just get the company name, like Whiskey Tree, for instance. Whiskey Tree did VFX on a lot of the major Marvel movies.
Mm.
And over and over and over again, they just got the company name in the credits. They didn't even get their business owner or their head supervisor's name in the credits.
Yeah, it's just the company. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to differ from artist to artist depending on where they end up getting work at. But I would say, on average, probably between 7 to 10% of the VFX artists that work on a film are actually credited in the film.
Yeah.
Have either of you gotten a name credit with misspelled name?
Oh, yeah, Mad Max Fury Road, baby. My name in there is Jeremy Vannerman.
You were so mad.
You rarely get your name on there, and then it happens to be misspelled. You're like, ah.
Yeah. It's rough too, because it shows just a complete disregard for people because there's no reason for them to have typed in my name when my name was already on a written up list. They literally just had to copy paste it, but instead they typed it. And when they typed it, they didn't care to make sure that it was spelled correctly. And there's multiple reviews that happen before they send credit lists to the production company and multiple reviews of the production company that confirmed that all the names are correct on the list and still it got spelled wrong. Like, that's just a lot of people that don't care about that whole category of VFX artists that specifically didn't care about me to make sure that my name stayed misspelled through all of those QC levels.
And that might be like a union mandate thing, which is why like everyone who is working on set that is currently under unions, because most of that list are people from the various sets if they're filming in different locations. Everyone from HR, because that's the most important thing. If you got a desk job, you got to be in the credits because those are the most important people. Payroll, that matters, bro.
Yeah, because that definitely affected the way that the movie looked for viewers. Couldn't possibly be the VFX artists actually working on the footage. It's the people that own the companies that happen to have funded this production. That person literally just said, like, yeah, we can work on that. That's cool. And they get their name in the credits. But me, who spent months and 60, 80-hour weeks working on these projects, no, that guy doesn't matter. He doesn't make enough to matter.
Yeah, I think it was bad when we were doing conversion because we called ourselves post-post.
Hmm.
Post-production's bad enough, which is what we do now, where we do compositing and other types of work. But post-production, when they say, "Oh, we'll just fix it in post," that's bad enough. Where it's just this careless thought of, we know there's issues here, but we'll fix it later. Someone else can deal with it. But when it's post-post, where most people aren't even aware that what we're doing is even a job, doing conversion, yeah, no one definitely cared.
Yeah. Well, and also time crunches. The fact that time compresses to the delivery date, to the release date, really.
Mm.
And so if things go long in production, that means post-production has less time. But if things go long in production and things go long in post-production, that means the time that we have as post artists was like zero. And it's not like we get a break because we have all this work piled in our lap all at once. We just have to get it done. We have to find a way to squeeze in enough hours in the day to get done what needs to get done, because otherwise our studio isn't going to deliver the film on time. If our studio doesn't deliver the film on time, then our studio isn't going to get hired for work anymore. If our studio doesn't get hired for work anymore, particularly from that vendor, then they might go under altogether. We just lost our job because we didn't get work done. And it's work done in 80-hour weeks that typically would take us multiple days that now we have to get done in just a few hours. And we have to find a way to do it because otherwise our job is gone. Like our whole studio could be gone. And if our studio disappears, then there's a good chance that our whole industry disappears. So we feel the weight of all of that crushing down on us. Well, at least I did almost every single time I came to work, knowing that if I don't deliver this and deliver it well, because if it doesn't look good in theaters, people are already really iffy about 3D converted films. And if it doesn't look good in theaters, fewer and fewer people are going to go see 3D films. So if I do a bad job on this and I go long on this, then my industry is shot. So I just constantly had the weight of that in the back of my mind with every single shot that I worked on or oversaw